this. Nothing beats a great cup of coffee in the morning, except for multiple cups of coffee in the morning, which are great. Welcome to Chatty Coffee Crew. Of course, we've got a show for you today. Won't go as far as to say it's fantastic or necessarily even good, but it's a show. You're welcome to hang out with us. Or not. Oh, right. Yeah, the show. Yeah, all right. So today, we're talking about, obviously, your favorite weather in the morning. Now, this could go lots of ways. Maybe your morning consists of anything past 12 noon. Okay, fair enough. Those snooze alarms are crazy. But say you actually are awake in the AM or real morning, okay, for those that view it as the real morning, all right? Say you're there and you're like, what's my favorite weather? Well, a lot of that's going to come down to what you're doing that day. Say you have a job that's, working outside. Well, depending on how you're feeling that day, you may care for it to be a rainy day. Just saying, so that, you kind of don't have to go into work. Now, there's other folks who might encounter a rainy day, things of that nature, who might actually thrive under those conditions. Take the professional pizza delivery technicians, okay? Now, we are familiar with that industry as we have been a part of it off and on throughout, all sorts of stuff. Anyhow, you take into account professional pizza delivery technicians, some of them just thrive in the more vicious of the elements. Whether it's, that's when more folks don't feel like leaving their, domiciles or things of that nature to order food to, have brought to them, all right, instead of braving the elements, okay? But you have those technicians that are doing those deliveries, all right, that are reaping the benefits and rewards of potentially those benefits and rewards that can be reaped in those weather conditions. If a professional pizza delivery technician is sitting there, at the store, it's pouring rain, people don't want to leave their house, and they're like, man, I better get this Domino's asshole to come out to my house. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, well, you order on the app now, whatever. So you order, and they come, and you take pity, and you're like, what did I just walk into? Oh, there's no telling. If your algorithm got you here, man, you might want to clear your cache. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Well, you should be sorry about that, really. Anyhow, so we're talking favorite weather, of course, ChattyCoffeeCrew. And weather can be favorited. Okay, you can't actually heart it or anything. You know how the internet does. Definitely interested, though. Oh, well, I see you haven't gone to bed yet and you're still extremely tired. That's fantastic for us, because it makes it seem like everything we do is that much, okayer than it is. So, there you go. But of course, here at Chatty Coffee Crew, we talk chattiness stuff. Topics change daily and periodically. Whenever they do. It's pretty weird. Anyhow, so people who reap the benefits in these, more arduous of weather conditions, okay? It's raining, it's sleeting, it's hailing, it's snowing. These pizza delivery technicians, people take mercy and pity on them sometimes. Some people don't tip still. Fucking assholes. Hey, they're out there. They're braving these elements. They're bringing you these delicious, at that point, room temperature pies, okay? You're still paying full price, and you didn't have to go out in the elements to obtain them, so it's like, okay, mediocre pizza, 5 stars. Here's $15 for coming a couple miles down the road. The people who benefit are those that reap the rewards. Now, other industries, obviously, can reap the same rewards. Yes, hello, hi. Hello and hi. Welcome all ones of you to Chatty Coffee Crew. We're talking favorite weather in the morning today. Some people have some people don't. Maybe some people will and some people won't. It rhymed. It sounded like we should say it. But there are other folks who might, not benefit as much from the rain falling down and adding to their workday, okay? Professional pizza delivery technicians, DoorDash technicians, things of that nature, they might reap those benefits and rewards of, the extra added element of the weather factor, okay? People take mercy, take pity, like, oh, thank you for coming out in this storm. Here's extra money, and it's great. But there are sectors, all right, of industry in which people may not care for it to be as rainy as it may or may not be. So in those cases, when you have, individuals, like we said, if you're doing construction, obviously, a rainy day can be a blessing or a curse, all right? Maybe you're super tired. You partied really hard the night before, and you're like, man, I really don't want to go to work today. So, it's rainy and you don't have to go to work. It works out. But say you're really hurting for that 40 hours that week, and it's raining, and your foreman calls you or whatever, and he's like, hey, it's raining, so every one of you aren't getting paid, only me, suckers. And they're like, oh, well, damn. All right, so it's not as beneficial in those circumstances and under those conditions if you're hurting for it. And obviously, that's never good. But if you have the chance and the opportunity to take advantage of the weather in the morning in the industry that you may or may not be privy to being in, then obviously you kind of go from there. But let's talk other favorite types of weather, okay? Let's get away from the work aspect of things tying into the weather. Because if there's one thing that, whether we like to admit it or not, we don't like, it's a lot of work. So let's keep that separate, and let's just talk about the greatness that is weather in the mornings. So everyone has their own preferences. Maybe you like a cooler, brisk breeze in the morning. Maybe you like it a little overcasty and damp, and maybe a light trickle of mist because you have a fantastic setup. Not us. We're working on it. Work harder. Whatever. Maybe you have a fantastic porch or a patio or something like that, and you're like, man, come on, misty rain. You don't bother me one iota. That's, fantastic for you. But you incorporate and you take these elements of the weather and you find what works for you or doesn't work, whatever. Maybe you don't have a great setup, and so you need to kind of be out in the elements a little more, in which case the most perfect weather for you may be a traditional just morning that's a little overcasty and cloudy. That way, the sun's not just inherently beating down on you or anything like that. And, you can kind of just go about your morning and your day. So, it's fantastic when it works out that way. But let's talk about, other aspects and elements of any weather in the morning that could be, detrimental to one's overall, scope of where they want their day to progress, all right? Say you got a lot of stuff that you got to do, all right? Nothing like having a huge itinerary of, listed out items like, I got to do this, I got to go here, I got to get this, I got to do that. And then it's like, well, it's raining, can't do any of it. Might as well put on the Netflix of the chill. Fantastic. You just got the day off. Granted, your list of stuff that had to be done still needs to be done, but maybe it doesn't. So you just watch some Netflix and, hang out. Maybe tomorrow it won't be as rainy, and you'll be like, I guess I can do stuff today. But, maybe at that point you're infatuated with whatever you were binge watching the day before, and you can't do it then either. So, there might be some issues with that. But the weather in the morning, however you like to, chalk it up as your favorite, whether you like it overcast or a little sunny or a little cloudy, a little rainy. You have to also take into account the temperatures, okay? Now, very important. Obviously, it's going to pertain regionally to where you live. Now, if regionally you live somewhere where you hate the weather, you should probably try and not live there. Or get a, fan or something. I don't know. I guess depends on which way it's going. Or like a really warm coat. Whatever. You can do all sorts of, things to help pad out your experience with the weather. The point is that you need to find out which weather works best for you. And since, pretty much only, this is conjecture on our part, pretty much since only governments can control the weather, or not, right? You got to just do the best you can. You pack that extra umbrella, you pack those rain boots, you bring that extra pair of jacket, gloves, hat, something, I don't know. Whatever weather pertains to whatever weathery area you're in, whether you're ready for it or not, it's going to come. So you should probably be ready for it. We try and look out the window before we leave the house every day. But by then, it's usually pretty late at night because we wake up late. Except in this case where it's early. Don't worry about it. Stop putting stuff together. This is really interesting. You sure you don't have a podcast? Oh, we're sure we don't have a podcast. If we did, it would probably get less interesting. Nothing like an interesting conversation about weather. So, we should start a podcast on weather. Only we aren't meteorologists or anything like that, so man, would it probably suck. Now, a different podcast, yeah, sure. Maybe Spotify will pay us millions of dollars like Joe of the Rogan. Okay, maybe not, but, if they did, man, would we not do hardly any work for them? They would be pissed. They'd be like, well, man, did we waste millions of dollars? But, we'd be okay with that. Maybe we just sit in the corner of Joe Rogan's podcast and collect his scraps. Like, hey, which guests weren't able to make your pod of the cast today? Maybe we can interview them instead. Only they wouldn't want to talk to us. They'd be like, nah, fuck that, man, I'm going home. Be like, damn it. We lost out on another one. But hopefully by then, we've already collected enough of Spotify's money to where they don't get it back. If we spend it really fast, they'll just have to try and get it legally. And by that point, we'll tie them up in the courts for years. They're not going to see a dime. No, they're going to confiscate your shit. They're going to confiscate all of this from us? Oh, man. Oh. We're still getting the better end of the deal. But anyhow, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, weather. Today's the weather talk. But we can talk about anything, obviously. There are no parameters and restrictions on ChattyCoffeeCrew. We talk about what needs to be talked about. And what needs to be talked about is that we got about half a cup of this left, so we can talk about stuff until we're out. This is like the evil villain monologuing about his plan. Shh. Well, be sure to forward it to all of your friends so they're aware of it too and stay the hell out of our way. No, we just were looking for the views at that point. Don't forward it to them. They will end their friendship with you really fast. Be like, what the fuck did you just send us? This is the worst shit we've ever seen. And you'll be like, sorry, I thought it was good. I was still hungover from the night before. He was ranting an evil monologue plan, talking about his internet domination of taking all of Joe of the Rogan's scraps. I love Joe of the Rogan too. He's fantastic. We should really all be watching him. Shh. But don't tell that to all ones of the people watching this, or we won't have anyone watching this. Oh, it'd be like normal. Okay, go ahead, tell whoever. But anyhow, we segue. We're getting off topic from weather, but that's fine. We loves the talking about Joe Rogan. God, if you were to talk about a good show, I mean, you know, that's up there. God, we would do way better probably just doing what a lot of other content creators do. I mean, we're not content creators, we're entertainers. When's that start? I don't know, but, you know, we could just hijack a lot of other people's content and clips and, you know, just fucking play those. We'd probably get ones of subscription notifications for it. That'd be fantastic. Be like, whoa, man, we didn't even have to do the work. All we had to do was download and re-upload this shit, add a couple seconds of some commentary, and man, bada bing, bada boom. Huh. Here we are, sipping coffee like an asshole. Well, whatever, we like coffee, so it doesn't even matter. We don't even want to copy Joe Rogan's content or nothing. We just want to copy his bank account into ours. Without doing the work part. But anyhow, let's get back to weather. Let's talk about the stuff that's, you know, affecting people either positively or negatively, however they want to be affected by it, either positively or negatively. Either you look out that window, you realize you're a professional pizza delivery technician and you're facing that rain head on that day, or you look out that window, realize you're a professional pizza delivery technician, say, fuck this, man, I'm not going to work today, it's fucking raining. And then, like, work's like, we're going to fire you, and you're like, psh, okay, be sure you tell Papa John so I can go fucking work for them tomorrow. You know, they think they have something. They're dangling that carrot over you. You want this delivery paycheck? You want to work for these tips people are giving you? You better come to our schedule and adhere to it. And be in uniform, motherfucker. Why, are you going to fire me? No one else is coming in the rain. That's right. Okay. But next time, you better. Speaking of Papa John's, I've never had one of their pizzas. I might get one. Well, all right. So the interesting thing about Papa John's that really isn't interesting. Here's some dumb stuff that no one will care about because it's our opinionated crap. Papa John's crust, man, to us, is like old school Domino's. Now, we're talking old school Domino's, like early 90s. And early 90s Domino's crust was our favorite crust. It's bread. It's just dough bread. But it's just original plain goodness. And if you like crust and bread, maybe you'll enjoy it or dig it. But if you've never had the Papa of the Johns, get ready for a treat. Because those bastards give you little garlic butters that we don't like, but a lot of people do. And you could probably, you know, eat it or drink it if you wanted to, but just be sure you shake it before you open it. People always forget that part. But you also get 1 pepperoncini pepper. You used to get 2, but that's for rich people. But you might enjoy it. You won't enjoy the cost. Papa John's is a little more pricey than some of the stuff, but they do have deals and specials, and, you know, you can always, like, wait for a delivery driver coming out the door, hold it open for him, and then, you know, let it go at last second when he's coming out. Oh, he drops all his pieces like, fuck, we got to remake these. You're like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll take that one. They're like, no, sir, it doesn't work like that. It does today, motherfuckers. And you run with the pie to your car. No shit, it won't start. The pizza guy's there. Give back my pizza. It hit the floor, motherfucker. We got to give that to a customer. It's still good. It already ate it in the floor once inside the restaurant. Yeah. No one knows what they're getting when they get it. You better hope you have a good pizza delivery technician. Or not. I don't know. It's a 5-second rule. Yeah, only they go by the 5-second rule factored by 5. So you can do it 5 times. And you don't even have to start counting. It only takes effect the minute you start counting. So if you're busy doing, not bringing your customers' orders or doing anything like that, then you could, like, actually have the pie made, hunk that bitch on the ground, take a smoke break, go do whatever, maybe got to use the restroom facilities, whatever. Customers waiting, but you already told them, I'll be there in like 45, 55 minutes. Really, we could get it there in 20, but, I'm going on break. So, they go out there, and it's like, oh, shit, hey, is that pizza still on the ground? Yeah, but it's okay. We haven't started counting yet. It's like, oh, shit, well, I'm halfway done with my cigarette. Let me, I'll start counting when I'm closer to the end. It's like 1,000, 2, 1,000. Oh, barely got it. And they grab the pie off the ground. Oh, that was a close one. Well, Miss Johnson's waiting on her order. Quick, get this to her. And, fantastic. It's the 5-second rule amplified for sure. And businesses have thrived off of that 5-second rule for decades. And decades. No, that doesn't happen at restaurants. Oh, are you sure? I don't know. We're not saying that we've seen some stuff, but there's a little movie called Waiting and a little movie called Still Waiting. And if you were waiting or still waiting to catch those, you might want to watch them sooner than later, because they might start getting a little out of date with their presentation. Okay, a lower kind of budget movie, but fantastic. You don't fuck with people that serve your food, handle your food. Man, Waiting and Still Waiting. There's a lot of good stuff there. And if you watch those, just take into account, be aware of what type of patron you are to an establishment, because you go to the wrong place, you catch the person on the wrong day, under the condition and parameters of the wrong weather, okay? Maybe they're a server and they got the patio section that day and they're like, hey, you're working the patio today? And they're like, the fuck I am. They're like, nope, you're scheduled for it. Damn it. You got me there, management. All right, I'll work your patio. And they go and they don't care. They're like, oh, here's your food. And they're like, oh, wait, I got to be nicer, working for tips. Here's your food. They're like, oh, thank you. This is the best floor steak I've ever had. Yes, sir. We got it off the floor in 9 seconds instead of 10. Little floor spice makes everything nice. Yes. No, it doesn't. Oh, don't put food on the floor and serve it to people. That's wrong and not legal. There's laws against stuff like that. So, I hope that these restaurants aren't doing this stuff, and that it's just portrayed in those movies that we've seen. So, there's a chance that one of those is true, or not. But whether the weather is cooperating with you on a daily basis or not, whether it's, setting up your week for how you want it to go, all right? Maybe you have grandiose plans. Maybe you have a huge function or event that's going to entail being outside. Maybe a wedding or a birthday party at an outdoor park or playground, or, maybe a huge softball tournament game is happening the weekend, and it's like, oh, thunderstorms detected. This shit's rescheduled. Well, by then, your shortstop's moved because he got transferred, okay, to Wyoming. You're like, well, now we're going to lose the fucking game because our whole team's gone. And everyone else is like, what about us? We're on the team too. It's like, well, you're not fucking Gary, our shortstop, who's gone, who floated this team to the fucking championship game. They're like, yeah, but we tried our best. Well, your best isn't Gary's good enough. And now Gary's gone, and we're going to lose. No, have some confidence. And Gary getting back here for the big game? No, that's like a 15-hour drive. But whatever. Weather can affect all sorts of people in all sorts of different ways. Now, a, conjectured softball game with a, issue of the weather, or a sports game or event or a wedding or an outdoor function or gathering, a concert. The weather plays a role in all of our lives, whether it plays a role in them or not. You see, maybe you're a huge fan. Maybe you're like, the weather doesn't affect me as much as as much as it does. It does. Maybe you're a huge fan of Joe Rogan. Yeah, well, obviously, aren't we all? Maybe you're a huge fan of like cherries or oranges or strawberries, okay? All it takes is one crazy, not controlled by the government weather event or occurrence, okay, to take out an entire crop. And either A, that product that you really like, those prices skyrocket, or B, it just destroys them altogether, and you can't even get the product that you want to begin with. Now, there's probably a lot of frozen of the shit that you could buy, but is that really fresh? Only if it's fresh frozen. So, it varies. But that's just how it goes. So, anyhow, we're about here. So, feel free to lay any questions on us all ones of you might have. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up pretty fast. Excellent. Oh, yes. Oh, slow down with all of these chats not coming in. We can't keep up with them all. Oh, man. Crazy. Oh, we're going to swig this one down, as always. So feel free to tell us about your most favorite type of weather, because whether you like to admit it or not, we're out of coffee now. So, thanks for hanging out at Chatty Coffee Crew. If you want to get out of here before us, now's your chance. Remember, we don't need your subscription. We need your money. So downvote the shit out of this and give us a buck. Get off our lawn.